he thought he was a tough guy.
And then we'll come back to Vin Diesel for a second.
Figure out if he looks like a guy that once blasted in the nuts.
Sushi jackknife. 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 Sushi jackknife.
Oh,
I don't like that. I don't like the
countdown?
It's too official. I feel like we're going to have to at some point recording remotely. Just start the recording and ignore the countdown, and then just start whenever we feel like it afterwards. So that
I like that.
It's the correct start.
I like that.
We're not formal. This is not a formal thing here.
It never has been. Never will be.
No.
This is,
unless someone wants to give me a lot of money, in which case I'll make it as formal as you want.
That's right. Bow ties every episode.
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to that? Suits.
Hey, MeUndies. If you wanna pay us to be formal, we'll do it.
Is MeUndies still one of the big advertisers on podcasts?
I haven't heard it in a while. That was a weird phase where Mark Maron was trying to sell me underwear.
Yeah.
Like, of all the people in the world to sell underwear, nah.
Yeah. Tell them Steve
I don't know.
Too.
Yeah.
I
don't want any of their recommendations.
They had a whole. They got in this place where they were doing their ads like really theater of the mind, and they had like people doing like people on their show doing voice work, and then they put in music and sound effects. It was super elaborate for a show that's really off the cuff.
Right,
like the ads were highly produced,
wildly unnecessary.
Yeah. I think just because they thought it was fun, like they were having a good time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you have to advertise for underwear, you might as well have fun while you do it. That's what I've always said.
Yeah, I think we'd do something like that if we ever had a real advertiser.
Yeah. I saw, should we throw past sponsors under the bus?
I think we can at this point.
Okay, so Magic Mind. Was it Magic Mind?
Magic Mind.
Magic Mind, yeah. I saw who is pitching it now.
Oh, really?
Are you familiar with Brendan Schaub?
Yeah. That's funny.
On that train wreck of a podcast he does with Brian Callen. So, I guess were we a stepping stone to Brendan Schaub?
It sounds like we beat him to it. Wow.
Oh man.
Yeah, Magic Mind. I don't know.
It's pricey.
It was expensive, and I don't think it did anything.
I still contend there was a slight difference in my life, but not much. Definitely not $4 a day worth.
Yeah, that's right. I was trying to remember how much. It was like
I'm pretty sure it was $4.
Case.
Yeah,
and each one was like $4. But it was basically green juice. With some other stuff.
It was green juice with some extra mushroom and caffeine in it, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it was like people are talking about like clean caffeine or whatever. That kind of thing. I don't know that that's real. I don't know. What do I know?
We'll ask Brendan Schaub. He knows all about it.
I will say this about Magic Mind. They were very professional in their emails. Like that's really true.
I did read them, and they seemed to know what they were doing. That being said, I would like to let them know, like, there's a lot of podcasts in the world. You don't have to go to The Fighter and the Kid. There's so many other podcasts.
Is that the name of their show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Fighter and the Kid.
If you ever are on Reddit, go to the Fighter and the Kid subreddit.
Okay.
And just buckle in. It's a ride. Because it started Well, it started as like a fan page.
Oh, okay.
And then Brendan Schaub has 2 of the worst comedy specials of all time ever.
Yeah.
On IMDb, the last one has a 1.1 out of 10.
That's funnier than the special, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That he has a 1.1?
A 1.1 out of 10. So the subreddit has turned, and now it's just all people trashing the podcast that the subreddit was set up to promote. Oh, it's fantastic.
That's amazing. I
I can only hope one day we have a group of people, they're so devoted in their hate to us.
Oh my
that
God.
they have a whole subreddit with memes and everything. Oh, that's the dream.
It's like, it would bother me a little if like a couple people really hated us and they were vocal about it. But if like everybody hated it,
what would have to be the number where you're like, yeah, cool?
I don't know. If it got to the point where there were hundreds of people who were actively shitting on our podcast, I think I would love it in a way. Because
there'd be a part of you that loves that it's happening and that you get to witness it.
Yeah, and they're still listening, obviously.
Yeah.
They're just hate listening to it.
Right. Yeah, right now there are that's not the right podcast. Hold on.
Look at that phone, boy.
The Fighter and the Kid has 138,000 people on it. 1,000 people active right now.
Oh my God.
And it's just people trashing Brendan Schaub.
Has this show been out for a while? Or is it like a relatively new?
Years.
Okay. It's been out for years. Wow.
Yeah. I feel like he was Brendan Schaub. I don't know this for a fact, but I think he was doing it before he quit MMA.
Oh,
so
that's
for
right.
Those who don't know,
yeah,
this is the recipe for this comedy genius. Brendan Schaub was in the UFC. He was on that. What was the reality show? Like The Ultimate Fighter?
or yeah,
something.
I think that's what it's called. Yeah,
came from that. Got his brain smushed in UFC several times to the point that Joe Rogan on his podcast went, "Hey, you should probably stop getting hit in the face repeatedly."
Whoa.
But then Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan is not quite right up in the head.
He's had his brain smushed too.
Yeah, told him that he's funny and should be a comedian.
Oh boy.
Apparently that's not true. And so here we are.
Comedian is like one of those tags you can hang on yourself, I think, pretty easily. It's like you can call yourself that, but
I think we could technically call ourselves comedian.
Technically, yeah, but I don't consider myself a comedian in any way.
No, but if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I don't think people would argue with you. Unless you met like a real comedian, like Brendan Schaub.
we could talk about, our very unsuccessful comedy careers.
Mm-hmm.
So could he. You can be a failure, but you're still technically, he could.
We could find common ground. None of us have succeeded at comedy.
Yeah. And I haven't succeeded at being hit in the head either. So, I mean,
there's still time though. You can still do that.
You can do that at any age.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's, okay. So you know how there's the PGA Tour, but then there's the senior PGA Tour where all the old retired golfers go.
Yes.
Hear me out. Senior UFC.
Oh my God.
Just 70-year-olds beating the crap out of each other.
If that's like the Idiocracy future, if that happens, that sort of entertainment where it's like, it's one thing to have people who are, completely adults who are getting paid something, beat the shit out of each other for money. It's another thing to have seniors do it. I mean, unless they're willing, unless this is like a movement of some kind or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't feel like it's that far out of the realm of possibility at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember what it was like 10 years ago, 15 years ago when there was the whole thing about bum fights.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that?
This. Yeah, I do. I do.
It was for those who don't know, people who would pay homeless people to just get in a fist fight.
It's so shitty. It's so shitty, man.
It's honestly the worst thing you can do, in my opinion, outside of like actually physically harming someone, making someone else physically harm someone.
Right. No, it's crazy. Oh, that was the thing. Yeah.
I was going to say, we're almost there. I mean, once you've done bum fights, just pulling people from the nursing home and throwing them in the octagon, it's coming. It's
I'd like to
basically
see
right there.
If they're going to do that, then they should do it in a pool. Just
like a water aerobics pool.
Water aerobics senior fights. Great fight.
I like that.
Silver fights. The silver tournament.
I'm gonna get you. Come back here.
I had a day this week where I could have been 90 years old. I felt like it, man.
What'd you do?
The sneezes aside, that's not really related to it. It was just like my whole body just hurt. Everything hurt.
Why?
I don't really know. And I mean, it was like definitely like an allergy thing, like the triangle, the T of pain right here where your sinuses are.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then just like all the muscles. And I took a bath. Have you heard of these?
I'm familiar with them.
Yeah.
They're for, as far as I'm aware, children.
Yeah.
Women who have had to deal with children and dogs that rolled in something.
Let me tell you something.
That's who takes baths.
Let me tell you something right now. That's good for you. Okay. I watched a series of videos while I was in the bath that told me how good for me baths are. And you know what? They're right. Placebo effect aside.
Now, okay. Do they mean good for your mental well-being or physically they're beneficial?
Both.
Okay. What's the argument here for the physical benefits of soaking in your own filth?
See, I knew this. I knew you were an anti-bath guy coming into this.
I'm not really anti-bath. I'm bath agnostic.
Okay. That's fair enough.
But for the sake of this, yeah, I'm anti-bath.
Okay.
I don't believe there are physical benefits to a bath.
Well, obviously it loosens up your muscles, right?
Yeah.
You know? And there's like a temperature range. Like if you go too hot, that's not good because you burn your skin or whatever. But like,
right.
There's a certain. I think the guy said this one he really was a doctor, but I really want to go doctor on YouTube because it's a doctor on YouTube, and you should always doubt doctors on YouTube, probably. Right? Yeah.
It seems like a fair rule. I don't trust Dr. Phil. I'm definitely not going to trust a YouTube doctor.
Yeah. This guy had one thing going for him. He had a good whiteboard. He knew how to work that thing.
That is about all it takes.
Yeah.
Having a good whiteboard.
So like it increases your circulation or something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's good. And they're also like oxygen intake or something. And they actually did say that like it could help stabilize insulin levels, which I thought was like, wow, okay. This is all there's research on all this.
Why would it stabilize insulin?
I don't really know. I don't
And
know.
why would a shower not do the same thing?
I think it's the time, because I gotta tell you, I stayed in like way longer than normal. Like I'm usually, and I've always been a bath person, you know.
Yeah.
Ever since I can as remember, I was a little shaver.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I was a bath guy, and
Yeah.
I mean I shower daily, but then like once a week, once every 2 weeks, it's a nice long bath.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't. I would rather sit on the couch to relax than sit in water.
So I stayed in longer, right? And I felt
Yeah.
the initial relaxation, but then I hit a point where I was like, "Oh man, like I really feel it." Like I went, like I could feel the muscles like release,
Mhm.
a little bit, and like in the back. It was the legs, the back, the hands. I've been doing a lot with my hands, and
What have you been doing with your hands?
I've been cooking a lot, so a lot of chopping, and you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
squeezing
familiar
out
with chopping. Yeah.
yeah, chopping, squeezing
I've heard
out
of it.
rags, yeah, this
Mhm.
kind of thing. So
Okay.
yeah, I really felt something, and then the effects lasted on until the next day, and then today it had been like 2 days, and I didn't feel the effects anymore. I just
Yeah,
felt normal.
that's not going to last forever.
No, you
So-
have to do it more.
So you need to get a jacuzzi
Oh my god,
and just sit in a
that'd be amazing.
jacuzzi all the time.
That would be amazing. My folks had
That-
a jacuzzi.
Yeah, that's like sitting in boiling filth. Like
Yeah.
you're boiling your own body goos and
Yeah.
sitting in it.
Well, you're in line with, I think, like Japanese culture. Like they don't do baths, I believe.
Oh,
I
really?
believe yeah, I think so. I think they do, like the closest they come is like maybe not anymore, but like traditionally. But like they would do like a sauna type sponge bath type thing.
Oh, that's
yeah, they're-
worse. Nope,
They're with
I'm out.
You don't
No,
like the
no.
sponge?
No, a sponge bath? That's worse.
Yeah. Well, because of the
It's not-
sponge?
It's not grosser. It's just like that's an unsatisfying way to bathe.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Mm,
Blot yourself
yeah,
repeatedly.
no,
Yeah.
no, that's
No, yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I heard that somewhere.
I'll stick with showers. I like showers. The water goes down
showers.
the drain. I don't have to deal with it later, and it's all very nice.
Showers are good too.
Hmm.
What's this deal with everyone's taking cold showers? Is this still happening in the world where people are obsessed with taking a cold shower? every
You mean
day?
like to keep from having boners?
No, that works.
Uh-huh.
I thought that was
I
the
don't-
only use for a cold shower.
I didn't
Like-
I didn't know that was a thing. Are people doing that instead of like a cold plunge?
I think so. Yeah, it's like if you Google, as I did, the benefits of a hot bath, you will also get a lot of videos about why it's good to take a cold shower, and
All right.
side by side images of people who were once chubby but now ripped.
Okay, let's see what we got here. This is from Men's Health. So
All right, that'll work.
uh
Screen share. Ew.
yeah.
He
13
looks like
science-backed
he's having
reasons.
way too much fun.
Elevate your mood, jolt you awake, fire
I
up
don't know
your
about that.
circulation. So your circulation goes up if it's hot or cold,
Apparently.
apparently. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, boost your metabolism, hasten
Yeah.
your post-workout recovery,
That's
ease
a big one I've
DOMS.
What are DOMs?
DOMS. I don't know. Oh, it's talking about flushing your muscles of toxins. And
Oh.
I have come to the conclusion that when they say that there are toxins involved, it's just complete nonsense 98% of the time.
Yeah. I
don't
would
think-
have to concur.
I don't think it's a real thing most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what do I know? Okay, let's see. Uh,
And What else we
Immune
got?
defenses can support weight loss.
Immune what now? Immune what now? Nathan?
Defenses there.
There you go. You could say that word.
Nah. 29. Okay, people who take cold showers are 29% less likely to call in sick for work or school. That's because they have no common sense. They're taking cold showers. They probably are going everywhere sick, going, I'm fine. I had a cold shower today.
Sure. It's magic. Do you remember hearing that like certain presidents would do this?
No.
Like, God, which president was it? I don't remember, but there was one who they always seem to do something with the bathroom in the White House every time there's a new president.
Well, yeah.
And there was one guy, I think this must have been like the 40s or something, who had, I don't think it was FDR though. Anyway, they had like super high powered jets on in the shower. And it was like 40-degree water. So it was really cold.
Oh, no.
And this is how, so basically you step into the shower and you're blasted at high pressure with cold water every day.
That sounds
horrible.
So terrible.
I want to say it was Truman, which kind of adds up because
that doesn't surprise me. He was a
know
military guy too, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So he thought he was a tough guy. He probably thought who needs hot water.
Yeah, exactly.
Ease depressive symptoms. Okay. Sure. That's from the Virginia Commonwealth University School of Medicine, so that sounds legit.
Oh, okay.
They quell inflammation. They fine-tune your focus. Okay, now we're getting to vague, unprovable things.
Okay.
Fine-tuning your focus. You can't prove that your focus is better. It's just like, oh, I feel more focused, and that's the end of that. Build resilience. Raise your T levels. There you go.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so if you feel like you got no testosterone, take a cold shower.
I bet that's where some of this is coming from then, because it seems to be a lot of guys are into it.
All of this nonsense. Okay. Women with their grooming routines, they're very particular.
Sure.
They're not going to mix it up with things like, hey, what if I took a cold shower for 20 minutes a day? They have their routine. It's very set. It's very regimented, and they
put a lot of work into it. Yeah.
Men, we're always like, what's a shortcut for us to be manlier or something?
Well,
I don't know. Whatever it is Joe Rogan's trying to do.
Yeah. He's definitely trying to butch up the world. That's for sure.
Yeah. So
I feel like that's his goal.
Right. It's all about figuring out a shortcut to having more testosterone, apparently.
I don't know. There's definitely a point where you can have too much and you just become a rage machine.
Yeah.
Like that's real. That happens to people.
Well, that's what roid rage is.
Yeah.
I mean, more or less, you've boosted your testosterone levels to unnatural heights, and then you're ready to put your fist through a wall like you're on PCP.
Yeah, cool.
It's ridiculous.
Apparently, LBJ, going back to presidents for a second, apparently, Vanity Fair, the title of this is Super Soaker. LBJ demanded White House shower be fitted with nozzles aimed at his nether regions. That's not the one I was talking about, but... LBJ.
Let's see. I have to pull up a picture of LBJ because I can never remember what he looks like. I'm trying to figure out if he looks like a guy that once blasted in the nuts.
Yeah, he pretty much does. It says one nozzle was pointed directly to shoot up his butt, while the other was aimed directly at his penis. He nicknamed. Wait a minute! Oh boy,
That's the look he had on his face when it happened.
Yeah, exactly. He nicknamed that shower head, the one that pointed at his penis, Jumbo. What a weird guy! What a weird guy! Oh my god!
Does that make him our greatest president? It might make him our greatest president.
Yeah, it might.
It's like you got Lincoln, Washington, Lyndon B. Johnson, and his penis shower.
Jumbo. That's so strange, but also like he seems like he was pretty open about it, maybe. So like you gotta kind of appreciate a person who's open about their weird shit.
I mean, maybe. It depends on when it's coming up in conversation. Like, is he meeting leaders from other countries going, hey, while you're here, you gotta check out my shower. It's going to hit you right in the balls, just over and over. It's relentless. I love Jumbo.
He's standing there with Gorbachev and he's like, look, seriously, dude, check this thing out. Like, I'll leave you alone.
The Cold War would have ended like 20 years sooner if Lyndon B. Johnson hadn't spent all his time trying to get people to take showers with him.
But by the way, I'm pretty sure it wasn't Gorbachev at that time period. I just couldn't think of anybody else's name. Khrushchev. Maybe it was Khrushchev.
You know what? You can throw out any name and I'll just go, yeah, that's fine. Cool. I don't know. Putin. It was Putin.
Well, it might as well have been. I think his spirit keeps getting reincarnated or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. So this week I found out about a book I wanted to read.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to talk to you about this problem I had.
Tell me.
So one of our friends went to a local punk festival. And at that punk festival, they had books for sale. And one of them was a book on practical anarchy.
Interesting.
And I was like, that sounds like a very interesting book. And I was like, I would like to read the book Practical Anarchism, which I believe was the book we were talking about. So I started looking it up. And all of like the first results for this book were from like Amazon and Barnes and Noble and places like that.
Okay.
How big of an issue is it to buy a book on practical anarchy from Amazon?
Pretty big. I mean, that is inconsistent. Is the nice way of saying it.
Yeah, I was very concerned. So I spent a lot of time going, I don't know that I want to read this book because it's not a good sign that this book is only for sale at these places. And finally found someone, whether it was the author or not, I don't know, had uploaded it for free somewhere. And I was like, okay.
There we go.
I'm back on board. We'll read the book. But I do want to know how many people have bought that book from Amazon.
Oh, man. I'm sure quite a few. So is the author actually selling it through Amazon, or is it just...
I think it's the publisher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like an independent book. Now I'm looking it up to see if it tells me how many sales it's had.
I was picturing you buying some sort of, pamphlet or something somebody made on a copier.
Let's see. It has a 4.2 on Goodreads. It's $20.
Okay.
$20. You can't see that. $20 on Amazon. You can get Prime 2-day shipping for it.
Oh,
let's see.
Have you dove into it yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
It doesn't tell me how many sales it's had. It is the number 32 bestseller right now in anarchism. So that's apparently a category that Amazon tracks, which I find very funny now.
That is funny. That is funny that they have to actually track that. That's like, have you heard of people?
32.
That's a lot of books on anarchy.
Yeah. Anyway,
have you heard of people on Bandcamp miscategorizing their music on purpose?
No.
Like some like death metal band will put themselves under children, and partially as like a fuck you, but also I think it's like there's less stuff in that category, and I guess they're hoping to get noticed, probably by the wrong people, but
or they'll have lifelong fans.
Could be, yeah.
Find a bunch of children that discover them early and grow up with them.
There you go. What were you going to say?
I don't remember. Number 11 is the Anarchist Cookbook.
Oh, that's been around
in
forever.
case you need to know, which it's surprising that they sell that to me.
Yeah. Me too.
Somehow the Anarchist Handbook is on here 3 times.
Interesting.
Which so that book, I checked that out from the library a while ago because it was time for a new book, and got started reading it and realized that it wasn't an anarchist, it was a libertarian.
Oh, really?
That wrote it. Like everything was very
Really?
libertarian, and you're like, shut up, just shut up. That's not the same thing. Go away.
Were they talking about the market and stuff like that?
No, it was
Okay.
I can't even remember what it was, but it was all very libertarian based. There was none of the element of anarchy, which people tend to leave out. That a part of it is making sure everyone is okay. Like you're it's not a lawless land. You're just governing yourself, and so you're looking out for other people. That was not the focus of this book.
Oh, okay. Still had that social stratification in there. Yeah. We got to divide between the haves and the have-nots, bruh. We just got to make sure we're in the haves. You know what I'm saying?
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I feel like this could easily turn into a Joe Rogan conversation right here.
It's sneaky. He had me at one point for a little while.
Oh, I know. I made fun of you.
Yeah, you did. And that's fair. I didn't see it at first. I was like, yeah, this guy, like fucking. And not that I thought he was necessarily smart, but it was just like, I don't know. You feel like
he does invite interesting people on.
Yeah,
I will give him that.
That's true. Yeah. I don't know. It was like I lifted up a rock and I found a whole teeming area of life that I didn't know existed before. And I was like, oh, look at that for a while. And I mean, it got me in because he had like real scientists on and stuff talking about their research and things like that. And that's what got me in, And I was like, okay, it's a 3-hour conversation with somebody I'm interested in. Okay.
Yeah. It's the pseudo intellectual nonsense that, oh man, I can't listen to Joe Rogan think that he's smart. I can't do it.
I know what you're saying.
Like, saying. I'm not saying I'm a smart guy, but I'm saying Joe Rogan definitely isn't a smart guy.
Yeah, right. I'm with you. I'm on the same page. I mean, like, I don't know. That was another one of those things that just sort of ran through the culture for a minute there. It was like, oh shit, he was everywhere all of a sudden, Yeah.
And then Spotify gave him a bunch of money.
Yeah.
And now people don't really care that much, I don't feel like.
Yeah.
Like, he's still a big deal. He makes a ton of money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But now when he says crazy things, you don't have everyone on Twitter going, can you believe what Joe Rogan just said?
Right.
Probably because everyone goes, yeah, I can definitely believe that Joe Rogan just said that thing.
Well, it's like we crossed that bridge with him a couple of years ago. of being like, oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And now I think people know where to put him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
there are the people who are always going to think he knows what he's talking about, and they're going to follow him to the end of the earth. He can start his cult, whatever he wants to do. I'm not sure what his goal is. And everyone else goes, that guy.
Didn't you tell me him and a bunch of his like friends moved to Texas?
He lives in Austin.
Yeah. Okay.
What I'm trying to think who all I know. Tom Segura moved to Austin. Tony Hinchcliffe.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. That guy moved to Austin. I'm sure other people did. Whatever. Now I don't feel like I need to go to Austin anymore. So
Austin's a weird one because from what I'm hearing, I've never actually been there. I've been through Texas, but I've never specifically been to Austin. But from what I'm hearing, it's like all of a sudden you can't afford to live there anymore because a bunch of tech companies moved there, right?
Yeah.
Something like that happened.
I think, I don't know if it was Tesla, but one of Elon Musk's things moved there, and a bunch of it. At one point, they were calling it the new Silicon Valley.
Right.
Whatever that means. And so a bunch of tech bros invaded town. I'm sure South by Southwest really sucks now.
It's so weird because Austin, like the thing I think it was known for before was like the whole like outlaw country thing, like very blue collar and very like drinking and smoking and partying, and that was about it,
Yeah. Now
it's just funny to think about it. Yeah.
Now it's known for Elon Musk and Joe Rogan opened up a comedy club. That's it.
You ever see that movie Slacker? Not Slackers.
No, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about?
It's a Linklater, right?
Linklater, yeah. I believe that was made in Austin, and it's a cool movie. Like very, obviously very independent movie, and it does a thing that I haven't seen it in many movies. I don't think it was the first, but where like you're following a character or a couple of characters, and then they interact with somebody or pass by somebody, and then all of a sudden you stop following them and you start following this other person, and it does that like almost like a maze all the way through Austin. And at the end, I think it's at the end, there's this guy who just has like no less than 50 TVs, like the box TVs, like stacked up in a room. And you can't really tell if it's something they just did for the movie or if like this is this guy,
That's interesting. Yeah, I have it on my queue on, I think on, well, I don't know what it's on at this point, but to watch it and still haven't ever seen it.
It's a cool movie.
I can't force myself to watch movies. It's hard to do it at this point.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I don't have the attention span.
It's a good one. Yeah, if you're ever in the mood for something like that. And it's like artistic, but it's not highbrow,
Yeah. Is he's the one that did Boyhood, right?
Oh man, I have to look it up. I'm not actually sure. Richard.
That was the most disappointing movie to me ever, because so anyone who hasn't seen it, I'm pretty sure it was him that directed both of them.
Yeah, he did. He did do Boyhood. Yeah.
Okay. The movie was filmed over 18 years.
Wow.
And so the actual children in the movie grow up throughout the filming of the movie.
Oh, wow.
Like it's
That's
real.
Cool.
It's really them aging. It's not some weird Hollywood thing. And I was like, that's a great idea. And then I watched the movie, and the movie was fine. It wasn't. It's still a great idea. It just the execution was like I didn't love it.
Yeah, sure.
The script wasn't great.
Oh man.
But I mean, imagine, this is what I thought the whole time. Imagine the gamble that you pick it wasn't a full 18 years because I think the kid was 5 or 6 when they started, but up until the end of high school. You pick this kid. That kid could turn out to be the worst fucking actor of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Just
you have no idea.
Complete garbage by the time he's 13. He could also turn out to be the dumbest looking kid ever. You have no idea what you're looking at. And how it's going to turn out in, 12 years. But he got lucky. It worked out.
Oh, man. That's rolling the dice in a big way.
Oh, man. You're, it's, I mean, what do you do? Trash the footage at 17 when the kid can't act?
No, I think you've committed. Like, you've got to go through. That could be a horrible feeling.
Oh yeah.
Of like, I mean, oh my God, I have to finish this.
Imagine the read through. There had to have been one point during a read through when they get back together during the summer to film the next year of it. And the kid like keeps flubbing lines or something. And he's just sitting there going, oh no. Oh, why? So much time. Now this 16-year-old is going to ruin the whole movie.
Wow. I don't know, man.
It's a great idea.
Yeah.
If another director wants to do it again, and this time write a slightly better script that I enjoy more, I'm for it. Go for it.
Yeah, man. I don't know. There's things you do for your art. Oh man, I was at the movies a little while back. I finally saw Oppenheimer. I don't know if I told you about this, but great movie. Holy shit. But they were running trivia before the movie, and they ran like a trivia fact about the longest film ever made.
Okay.
And I think it's like 40 something hours or something. It's called The Cure for Insomnia. And apparently it's just like a lot of different stuff mixed together.
Yeah.
It's 1987. What's the length? 66% of Google users liked it. How many hours? 5,220 minutes. Whatever that translates to.
Wow, 5,220.
Yeah,
I gotta get a calculator for this one.
Okay. And it's like apparently it goes in and out of like music videos and other stuff. There's really no plot, as I understand. 87 hours or 3 days and 15 hours.
Yeah, 87 hours. That's
oh my God. Oh wow. Yeah, and there's a poem being read throughout the whole thing. The poem, let's see, by someone named L.D. Groban, reading his 4,080 page poem, spliced with occasional clips from heavy metal music videos and porn. Oh my God. It has not been released on DVD or other home video formats, and all known copies are considered lost. Wow.
Oh, that's I hated the idea when you told me how long it was.
Yeah,
but the title gets me. I like it. So
The Cure for Insomnia. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, it's
a funny title.
Well-played movie.
Yeah. There's no chance you're staying up the whole way through that. No chance.
I want to see the director's cut. Oh, we uncovered 45 more hours of footage that we hadn't put in. Let's add that in.
I want to think about a poem that's 4,080 pages long. Holy shit.
I don't.
Holy shit. I only want to think about it. I don't want to read it. God. And then people can do, people can say so much within a haiku. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
I don't know how that's better. I don't know how that many pages is better.
Would you rather have it be one big poem or just a series of haikus that last for 84 hours.
That would get old.
87 hours. I'm sorry, I shorted it 3 hours.
Yeah.
Just 87 straight hours of haikus.
Oh my God. I can
Over
take
porn.
Obviously. Yeah.
Art.
Oh, then you just is the sound on or off? That's all I need to know in that situation. Because
In the haiku or the porn?
in the porn. Yeah.
It's actually, I'm glad you asked. It's the actress in the porn delivering the haikus.
Well, she's working really hard, and I hope she's being paid well.
She's not. It's pornography and an art film. neither of which are known for paying people well.
That's something I wonder about a lot. It's like how for like really shoestring budget independent movies, how do you get people to be in them? I mean, I guess
your friends.
Yeah, you ask your friends would be the main thing, right? And then sometimes you probably just have desperate people.
Yeah. Well, I think of like the Mumblecore stuff, the Duplass brothers movies.
Yeah.
The first one I saw, The Puffy Chair, it's them.
It's just them. Yeah.
I mean, they're not what Jay, I don't think is a main character in it, but he pops up, but it's just all the people they knew. Their budget, I think, was like $2,000 or something.
Oh my gosh,
ridiculous with it.
Wow.
And it's a fine movie.
Yeah.
It's not amazing. I like the Duplass brothers, but it's not amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I always appreciate it when people just do stuff, like that. Mm-hmm. Even if the results are not fantastic, it's like
you have a result.
You did it. Yeah, you have a result. A lot of people just don't try things, and like, I don't know. Yeah, it's better to try and fail than
You don't want to have the whole what if situation.
Right, exactly.
Like you want to do it and then you see, oh, it was terrible. And then you don't do it anymore. Yeah. Or you go the opposite direction and you just double down and triple down and quadruple down on the thing that is terrible.
Yes.
And hope that one of these days it's either so terrible that everyone loves it or you become better at it.
Right.
Those are the two choices.
Yes. Because there's a lot of really bad movies that also get a lot of love, I mean,
Oh yeah.
I like a lot of that stuff,
Well, I mean, it's like if we're talking high budget, how many Fast and the Furious movies do we have?
Good God, 10? There's 10,
and the first one wasn't good. It was okay.
And it was the best of all of them, probably.
Yeah.
I haven't seen past 2. I saw 1 and 2, and then I stopped.
I probably haven't seen past 2 either.
Yeah.
I mostly remember, so the first one I saw on a trip in high school, a band trip.
Oh, yeah.
We had a TV, or a bus with TVs and a DVD player. It was a very nice chartered bus.
Yeah.
And they brought 3 DVDs and everyone chose Fast and the Furious. And I know you're not supposed to speak ill of the dead. But Paul Walker was not a good actor.
No.
At least in that first one.
No.
It is bad. It is terrible.
Yeah. I think he was getting better and then he died, It's like, sucks.
Even sophomore in high school me was watching it going, no,
I don't think
not
so.
Good.
No.
Not good. Vin Diesel looks like the better actor here, and that's a bad sign. That's not good.
Yeah. What's funny about, well, first of all, let me say this before I forget, and then we'll come back to Vin Diesel for a second. It's the first time we've ever uttered those words, I think.
I think that's the first time anyone said that.
I'm pretty sure Roy and I saw Fast and the Furious at the theater in our hometown. I think we did. He can correct me later.
Okay.
If that's not the case, but I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah. I don't remember what year that came out, so I don't remember how old I was. Was that like 2000? Early 2000s, right?
Yeah, it was early 2000s for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Fast and the Furious. While I'm looking this up, I will throw out as much crap as I give Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, please do.
Too Fast, Too Furious is the best sequel name for any movie.
It's a good one. Yeah,
the,
it is a good
the
one.
second best. The number one best sequel name is Sister Act 2: Back in the Habit. It's such a good name because it has two meanings. It's a habit, but then they're wearing nuns' habits. See, get it?
I get
2001.
it. 2001. Okay. So I'm like 16, 17. So that's about right. Yeah. That's about the right time. What I was going to say about Vin Diesel though is like, I think maybe his best acting work is this voice work that he's done.
Yeah.
For cartoons and stuff. The Iron Giant. He's Groot, obviously, which I know, Groot doesn't have a lot of lines. It's the same line, but he's got emotional range.
Yeah. I will actually give him credit on the Groot thing.
Yeah.
Because it's not okay. So one of my favorite things in a movie is when someone does really good emotional scenes without speaking.
Yes.
I think it's probably harder to do an emotional scene where you aren't able to do facial expressions because, it's computer generated. You're not in the movie. And you're only allowed to say one word one phrase
one
over and over and over. Yeah.
Yeah. One I am statement.
And he pulled it off. It worked.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Over the course of, 3 films and all the tie-ins, it's good. Groot's got a real arc.
Yeah.
Going.
It very easily could have been just the same one note, I am Groot, over and over.
Yeah. I just want to point out to my child right now that she knows she's being recorded.
Are you talking about Groot?
We are talking about Groot a little bit, yeah. And you will end up on the internet, FYI. In video. Maybe you should know this now. The format has changed.
The look of shock.
Yeah. From afar, from back here. Yeah. Yeah, I am in the middle of the house. This is true. But I have nowhere else to go.
So basically
everyone's going to get uploaded. Sure, we're all eventually going to get uploaded to the internet.
All God's children get uploaded.
Well, that's a title if I ever heard one. I mean, there is a basement in this building, but I'm pretty sure they don't want me recording down there. And
you should just try it.
Well, I'd have to run a really long extension cord, but I think they thought this through. I think they thought it through because 2 things. 1, there's no outlets down there. 2, the timer is on one of those knobs that it counts down the lights.
Yeah.
So you only have half an hour of lights. So like mid-show every time. Which could be kind of amazing.
Hold on, let me go. Click. Okay, we're good.
We're good. We're back. And we're back. Yeah, there's these I don't know if I talked about this last time, but there's like these cages in the basement of this building, and every unit has a cage. And it's awesome. It's like a full-on storage area down
and that's
there.
where you keep your child. Yeah.
And well, when I'm not using her, that's where she's at. Yeah. Yeah. We got to take her out for school and stuff. And then
right. You're not
back
a monster.
to the cage. Yeah, that's right. And when people leave, they just leave it open because you provide your own lock. So, I'm looking forward to walking in some empty cages and being like, I'm not supposed to be here. La 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 la.
Just start putting locks on all of the other empty cages.
Oh, that would be fun.
Everyone will go, they're claimed. We don't have a cage.
Yeah. You could really mess with people because there's space for more than one lock.
Uh-huh.
If I wanted to, I could just buy up a bunch of locks.
There you go. Imagine all the storage space you would have. It's like you're a storage pirate.
Storage pirate. Storage war. It's weird, in a building like this, there's like common areas, but like there's a patio outside. There's a little like lobby at the elevator with a couch and some chairs. And then there's like a lobby by the laundry room. So, supposedly you can wait. No one does. You can wait for your laundry, right? And, but no one uses those spaces really, and I've been sort of using them a little bit. And I think people think it's strange.
Yeah, I was going to say, everyone thinks you're the freak now.
Yeah.
Like someone's sitting on that bench.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Ew.
It's like,
ew.
But it's like, in another way, it's like, that's there. Like, I'm here. It's there.
Yeah,
but I get it. It is weird. I understand.
When we lived in an apartment, there was a gym at our apartment and a pool.
Yeah.
And like a weird community meeting room space.
Oh, okay.
And I never saw anyone at any of those places.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like they do it till everyone thinks they're going to use it and no one uses it because because you don't really want to be around people, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you can avoid it,
yeah,
I'm going to. I paid for the apartment part of this, not the spending time with strangers part of it. So.
The dog politics here are incredible because there are a lot of dogs, and there's a lot of like, I'm happy to say we're not the only ones with kind of a crazy dog, and she's not so bad. I've had crazier dogs, but like there are other people who like, I don't know if they're afraid or if there was an incident, but we're talking like not just the muzzle, but like the whole like the thing that wraps completely around their mouth. So there's like no chance that they can bite anybody or any other dog, I guess. It's funny, man. It's like you see stuff like that and you see people who do not care at all.
Right.
And you see the people, it's a wide spectrum.
I've got a fun idea for you.
Okay, great.
For the dog, go get some sort of muzzle that is essentially the dog replica of Hannibal Lecter's mask. And then invite every child you see with a parent to come pet the dog.
I like it. People are not, I mean, people generally are like trying to keep the dog away from you. And I love dogs. I don't really mind, so they're like, oh, I'm sorry. People, it's nice, people apologize if the dog like comes near you, but I'm like, oh, that's totally cool. Like, I don't mind. I like these things. Mm-hmm. And then they actually, to keep people picking up the poop, right? I don't know if I told you this already. They DNA swab your dog. You register your dog on this webpage, you get a code, and then they match up the code with the dog's DNA swab. And then if there's poop, they test the poop, and then they know who to come to.
Sure. I do that in my house too.
You DNA swab everyone's poop? Just
people. Anyone who comes by. We got to do a good DNA swabbing just to make sure. So
I thought when I heard that, I thought two things. I thought, one, that's the craziest thing I've ever heard. And two, I guess that makes sense. I mean, it works. Like there's no one leaves any poop. You know what I mean?
Will you let the dog poop so it can be tested?
Sure.
Just to see
Yeah.
if they're actually testing anything?
Oh, you mean like just leave it for a while and see what happens?
Yeah.
I could do that.
Yeah, just right in the middle of one of the areas where no one wants to hang out.
Right on the patio.
Yeah. It'll take a few days for anyone to notice because no one goes out there.
Right.
But eventually
exactly.
someone would.
There's like grills and stuff. I mean, there's like amenities, like, I don't know. I'm going to use some of these amenities. Dang it.
Are they good grills, or are they like the park grills that you're always a little bit skeeved out by?
They are those grills, but they're like 40 years newer than the ones at the state parks. Yeah. So
the ones at the state parks, I feel like were there when the state park was officially named a state park.
Yeah. Teddy Roosevelt was there going, I claim this land. Yeah. Or whatever.
Yeah. It's it feels like you need a tetanus shot after using one. Just looking
Definitely.
at it. It's bad.
Definitely. I've been watching a lot of you ever watch America's Test Kitchen? You ever watch that?
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
There's a free channel on the Roku now of just America's Test Kitchen, and they show old ones and new ones. And at some point, they lost the guy. The guy with the glasses. I had to look it up. A contract dispute, because he was like the editor and the host and everything. And at some point, he said, "I don't care anymore. I don't want to do this."
This is terrible.
Yeah, I'm sick of this. No one needs to know how to make their pizza dough fluffier or whatever they were. But it's a great show, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I have enough cooking tips in my brain right now to make some combination of thing.
Are you going to start a fusion restaurant? You can start combining all of the different foods together.
So far, the only thing I've really nailed was cornbread. I nailed some cornbread the other day, but that had nothing to do with them. That was just a recipe I got on the internet.
Yeah, so you're from the South, but you're very, very close to Canada.
Yes.
You need to create some Southern Canadian fusion.
Oh my God, that would kill you instantly.
Yeah, imagine if it would be like making poutine less healthy somehow. Like all of the poutine is deep fried somehow. I don't know.
Oh man, can you deep fry gravy? I'm sure you can.
You could figure it out.
Ooh,
that's why you need a test kitchen.
That's right. Why are the fries? What if the fries are gravy? Like, like we make gravy and then we freeze it into the shape of like fries, and then we batter it and fry
wedges of gravy.
Yeah, think about it, man.
Oh man,
and it just explodes in your mouth.
Yeah, I just felt my cholesterol go up. That's crazy. That's really good.
Oh my God, I have to tell you this before we're done tonight. We were at a restaurant. Speaking of poutine, a restaurant the other day. And we haven't gone out a whole lot lately, but last Saturday we just decided to get out because I was going insane.
Okay.
You know that feeling when you need to get out of the house? Like,
I do.
Yeah, I was having that big time. And so we went to this restaurant, and it's like a brewery type thing. And I had a couple of good beers and whatnot. And we sat outside, and we could hear the conversations of the people nearby, right? And there was this one large table, probably 6 or 8 people at it. But one lady really stood out because she had ordered the poutine. And she really, really wanted more gravy. She, in fact, could not stop talking about how she wanted more gravy. Yes, Holden.
Dad, tell them about the person in the car line.
The person I will get to that. And I couldn't resist. I couldn't talk about her openly because she was right there and she definitely would have heard me. So I resorted to texting my wife about it. And I said, this lady would really like some more gravy, period. like soak them boys in gravy. And then they were talking about sushi. And she said, I don't really like the raw so much, but she does like gravy big time. Lots of gravy.
If you could make her some gravy sushi, there's another fusion idea for you right there.
Ooh. I could not get over this lady complaining. They asked for more gravy, and the server brought them a carafe or whatever, not a carafe, like a ramekin of gravy.
Just a full pitcher of gravy. Just dump it all over.
And one thing I've noted, what my kids referring to, we're doing the drop-off line at school, and it's like any other school drop-off line, right? You see things, right, in the drop-off line.
Right.
And I have noticed, this exists in Tennessee too, people having stickers that say like, F you, or keep honking, I'm reloading, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This lady, this lizard lady in a minivan, we were dropping off. She had just dropped off. There's a loop. So we drop off and she's done and she leaves. And written across, the top of her windshield in her minivan, bright pink letters, it just says mean bitch. And you asked me to tell the story. And boy, did she look like it.
Are you ever tempted to just test someone like that? Just a little bit to see if they really are?
Maybe if we were together, you and I, to do that, because I don't think I'm strong enough on my own to test that.
That's your homework.
Oh,
I want you
great.
in the school drop-off line to just try to irritate her and see what her reaction is. How mean it is. Would you say that she is a mean bitch? I don't know.
Is she owning it, or is it more of a blowing smoke? Maybe
it's an aspirational thing. Maybe she's easily pushed over, like she's a pushover all the time, and so she's like, no, not today. Today I'm a mean bitch today. So
today and every day.
There we go.
Yeah.
I want to hear how that goes. And next episode, when you're in a body cast, that'll be really fun for everybody to see. So.
Making friends all around.
There we go. Sushi jackknife.
Oh boy.